So, there's a bunch of ants all over my Venus flytraps and stuff. Yeah, well, it seems like there were a lot more a little bit ago, but... So they're all running around. And I think it's because they know that there's dead insects inside of the Venus flytraps now. And seriously, they've caught a bunch of stuff. Most of the traps are closed. And now the ants are all getting eaten by Sarracenia. There's a couple in there. And yeah, so they're all coming for the Venus flytraps and then getting eaten themselves. And actually, my Venus flytraps, they've done really, really well out here. Probably in this pot, which is the original pot I got them in about 1 year ago. There's probably like 4 or 5 Venus flytraps. And in here, for $7, I got one really big Venus flytrap of the low giant variety. And yeah, I split it in half. And I got a ton of babies out of one half. And a slightly larger plant with one baby out of the other half. And this pot of them, it came at the same as that one. And now it has like 4 or 5 after just being one that I split it over the last winter. Or, you know, it has like 3 or 4 plants growing in there. A couple of nice traps. So they've done really well. And I got these ones in the last year, like right around when spring was coming. And I actually didn't water them one day or a couple of days in a row, so it sort of died a little bit. They've continued growing now. There's a few different growing points. That one only has 1 or 2 though. And here are my Cape Sundews. One of them's making a flower right now. I got about 4 in this pot and 2 in here. And then the forkleaf sundews. And also this little guy. So those are my, I'm keeping all these plants except for the Cape Sundews and that one. Otherwise I'm keeping all the rest outdoors for forever basically. It doesn't get much colder than like 20 degrees Fahrenheit during the winter, which I guess it's probably great for these ones, and not hotter than 105 degrees during the summer. Maybe a little over that sometimes, but not usually. And in the front right now, I have some Nepenthes. I have like 7 or 8. And they're doing pretty well with lots of light. But they'll have to come back in a couple months when it starts to cool down. So this one, it finally pictured ever since I moved it outside because it wasn't getting enough light indoors, I guess. Has the second one coming along, but for some reason, where the next leaf should be coming from, it got broken off by something or eaten, I don't know. I need to water these. I haven't watered them for like a day or 2. And yeah, so I got a few out here. For a while I was just keeping them in that tank because it would help keep the moisture in so I wouldn't have to water them so frequently, but they were, I don't know, they just weren't doing so great in there, because I'd sort of keep a little bit of water in there so that it'd be really humid and they'd get a little bit of water so I wouldn't, like I said, so I wouldn't have to water them so often. But what ended up happening is whenever this one would try and make pictures, or this one, those tendrils would go down and they'd get into the water and then they'd rot and I have to rip them off. So they weren't getting any pictures. So they've actually done really well out here, so I just need to figure out what I'll do in winter. Got a few ants. I've been having a problem with this one because it's a lot taller and it probably needs a bigger pot. So the wind's been taking it and knocking it over. So yeah. So those are my carnivorous plants. So in here I have some lance leaf sundews and a couple little baby ones. I also got Drosera, this one. I split those off at this big clump. Then my Drosera regia. So those are my carnivorous plants.